There are two ways you can help your nonprofit company page get more eyeballs on it, and two ways you can start to do that. And it starts with your volunteers. I'm going to talk about this in the context of SCORE chapters. There's SCORE chapters all over North Carolina and all over the U.S. I'm going to talk about how to do this in the context of the SCORE chapter. And there's two ways you can help to get more awareness for your SCORE business page on LinkedIn. Here's step one. Step one is you can ask your mentors on their LinkedIn profile to add that they are a volunteer at SCORE Mentors. Got to type in the name of your SCORE chapter that's on LinkedIn exactly as it shows up. I don't know what it is for everybody. SCORE Mentors Charlotte, SCORE Mentors New York, SCORE Mentors NC Piedmont. But select your chapter. That's got an asterisk, so you have to have that. Then you need a role. And so they need to put their role, whatever their role is, and SCORE Mentors are a good one. You don't need to have calls. And you say, I currently volunteer there, and select the year when you started doing that volunteer work. Now, here's another big tactic that I recommend. Anytime you add a position like this, I recommend you type in a description that tells the viewers of what you do in this role. And I'm going to write in here that I help organizations, I do Zoom calls to help people, I help them in this respect. And I fully enjoy doing it. And one more line you might want to put, and that is, if you are interested in learning more about being or becoming a SCORE mentor, ask me. I would put that on there, no matter how you put it on your profile. And then you hit save. This is step one. Show yourself as a SCORE volunteer. Now, by the way, it's buried at the bottom. Let me show you how to fix that. Hit the pencil on volunteering. Hit the reorder button. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Grab where you find SCORE Mentor. Grab the little stack here. Hang on to it. And you can drag it all the way up to the top and put it on top. And then when you hit the X, you can now see that SCORE Mentor in my volunteer section. Where, let me go back to it. SCORE Mentors on the top. That's step one. Ask all your mentors and everyone associated with the chapter and any kind of volunteer role to list themselves as a volunteer. Here's step two, and not everybody may not want to do this, but it would be very beneficial, advantageous to the chapter for you to do it. And that would be to add yourself under your experience section. By the way, it's called experience. It isn't called jobs. So, and by adding yourself to experience section doesn't necessarily state that you're getting paid to do it. But I would encourage you to ask your mentors to add themselves under their experience section. Hit the plus, add a position, type in SCORE Mentor. Employee type doesn't need to be anything. Company name, here's where you got to type in the name of your chapter exactly like you see it on LinkedIn. There it is, SCORE Mentors NC Piedmont Triad. Has to be exactly like you see it. And if it doesn't bring the logo up, it's not what you want. Location, you don't have to put that. Location type, you don't have to put that. I currently work there and I started in 2020. You don't need months. You don't need to change any of this or any of this, but under this description box, similar to what I referred to in the volunteer, put that same content in there as well. And then you come down and you don't change anything else. You don't have to add skills. You don't have to add media, but you hit save and you ignore the next two pop-ups. The next two pop-ups. Number one is, do you want to promote this? You don't have to. This would be a LinkedIn post. I hit X. And because I hit X, the second box doesn't come up. Now, those are two ideas. Add your mentors, ask your mentors to add themselves as a volunteer, and or ask them as an employee. By the way, remind them to look at where it lands under their experience section, because they may not want it up top. So they may have to edit it and drag it down to the bottom. As long as it's a current position, you can move them around. You can't move around prior positions. So if you have to move it, you have to hit the experience section pencil. And then what you have to do is you have to hit the reorder button, and you can move it around however you want to move it around. And then when you're done, you just hit the X. Now, once they've added themselves as a volunteer for your chapter and or put their work they do in the chapter under their experience section right here, here's the next big thing that they have to do. Ask them to go to the SCORE chapter page. Make sure that they're at your chapter and not SCORE National or not my chapter or someone else's chapter. And ask them to hit the follow button. And once they hit the follow button, ask them to ring this bell for all new posts. And by doing that, when they hit save, every time your chapter, whether it's an outsourced service or somebody in your chapter posts content to your chapter page, it's going to show up not only in their news feed, but also under their notifications. So this is the best way to let them know that you've shared something new. Now, by the way, what you might want to ask them to do is after they've done that, anytime they see new content, ask them if they would read it. Ask them if they will watch it. And then ask them if they will comment or repost it. That's where we're trying to get them to. But it starts with getting them connected as a volunteer and or under their experience section. Hit follow and ring the bell. I'm Teddy, your LinkedIn and Sales Navigator dude. I hope this is helpful for you and your nonprofit.